Good evening, ladies, gentlemen, and non-binary peoples. This is Bronson's By Any Means Necessary Fantasy Football Talk for Wednesday, September 28th. I hope you had success with your waivers. I hope that my advice was useful. And let's get to the defense special teams stuff here shortly. But first, let's talk about some stuff. I'm really sad to announce that the game ESPN streak is ending. Like, it kind of came out of nowhere. I just got the alert on my phone like a week ago that it's ending as of October 1st. I've enjoyed playing this game for years. It's mindless, pointless, free, no consequences. You just pick a winner of a matchup, or in some cases, like, you just pick certain sports things that you think are going to happen, and you can build a winning streak or losing streak. Blah blah blah. It was cool. It was fun. It was something. It was something I enjoyed for years. I always thought that, like, ESPN at this point, with sports betting becoming more legal in more states, should have adapted into a sports betting way to where I could put like $50 in the account or something, and then just pick matchups, and then I win or lose money based on the matchups, and then at the end of the month, you come out ahead, you come out behind, whatever if you want to cash out or whatever, then you can do that. I think hopefully maybe they are going to move into that. That's why the free one, ESPN Streak, is ending. Who knows? But it's kind of sad because now I won't have that. It was something I looked forward to, honestly. It was like I would go in there in the morning, pick a matchup, and then I'd be like, okay, this should be over at this time. So I pick my next one because you can only pick one at a time, which is unfortunate. I think they should have a setup where you can pick like something at 9 a.m. and then again at noon, and then blah blah blah. Just pick throughout the day instead of actually having to go in there and actively do it one at a time. But I liked it, and I'm sad that it's going away. I'm not going to have that game available to me anymore. And today I had this weird experience. I was out for lunch. I was out delivering some Uber deliveries before I went to UPS, which I just got back. I did a double shift. I did a 4 to 7 p.m. shift there. So I went and did lunch because I didn't sleep last night. I stayed up all night, so I slept until noon. I went out for lunch from about 1 to 3:15. Did some deliveries, and there was this woman there at my last stop, and she asked me if I could give her a ride, and I was like, why is this pretty girl asking me if I can give her a ride? So I said, sure, let me finish delivering this food. And then I met her out in the parking lot. She had all her stuff. I'm assuming she must have been homeless. I'm guessing she was homeless. She looked really nice though. She's a really good looking woman. So we put a bunch of her stuff in my car, and I gave her a ride to it wasn't very far. It wasn't a very far ride. But there was a lot of U-turns involved because the way the streets are in Vancouver is really stupid. It drives me nuts the way the streets are. You can't cross lanes. You have to make a U-turn, or you have to do a big square to go like one block. It's so stupid. But so I gave her a ride. We talked a little bit. I mean, I didn't talk a lot. I mean, it was a little awkward, honestly, but like it was nice because I don't have people in my car very often, and it was, she was pretty. I'll get attention from women. We talked about not much. We didn't talk about much really, but it was just interesting. It was something completely abnormal from my daily, from what usually goes on in my day. I gave her. There was something that I've had in my car for months because I bought it to this other girl, and then I never ended up seeing her again. I have a tendency to do that. I have a tendency to be nice. I'm a nice guy. I buy women gifts, and then I always end up doing it at the worst possible time. So I buy them gifts and then never see them again. So I gave it to her. I gave it to this girl because it's been in my car for months. I'm obviously not going to see this girl again. I was going to give it to, Victoria, the girl that is in Eugene that is not my kid, but I treat her like she's my kid. I was gonna give that to her, but she won't miss it. She never even knew it existed. This girl wanted it. She liked it. I was like, fine, you can have it. I don't care. So maybe, but if I just didn't want to. I'm a male, so I wasn't off put by the fact that she asked me for a ride. I thought it was cool that she wasn't scared of me, but like, I didn't want to give her, I didn't want to give her any bad vibes. I didn't want to give her a bad impression of me, so I just gave her a ride. It was friendly. I asked her if she's gonna be okay, because I could tell that she, was probably homeless, didn't have anywhere to go. I asked her if she was okay. She said, "Yeah, I'm fine." Blah blah. She's very positive, very cheerful, and when I let her out of my car, I told her to be safe, be careful out there, and so maybe she's hanging out near me, so I'll probably see her again. And so maybe some kind of, there could be like a, I feel like I did a good deed, and I think that she knows that I'm friendly now, so maybe she will, next time if I see her again, we could talk. I don't know. I mean, I'm not trying to like get into a relationship with this homeless girl, but like, a lonely dude. She's a good-looking girl. She wants to hang out and Netflix and chill or something. I'll buy her some. I'll buy her some food because she probably doesn't eat that much. I'll be nice to her. Like, there's no reason not to be nice to her. I do sympathize with homeless people. I just always have. I feel bad with them. I mean, I know a lot of them are trying to take advantage of us, but there are some who are legitimately struggling and need help. And I didn't give her any money or anything like that. And I have no problem helping them if they're legitimately trying. Like if they're hungry, they want something to eat, I'll buy them some food. I'm not just gonna give them straight cash because I don't carry cash, but also because I don't know if they're who knows what they're gonna use it for. But if they specifically want some food and they ask me, like, I've had homeless people come up to me before and be like, "Can you buy me some food, please, sir?" And I'm like, "Sure, yeah, I have no problem with doing that." But it's the ones that want money or cigarettes like that. Everywhere I go, I get people trying to bum cigarettes from me. Like, do I look like a smoker? Secondly, I know cigarettes are expensive. Are people just giving them out for free all the time? Because I would, if I was a smoker, I would not be giving them out for free. I'd be charging for those damn things. And I feel like I should start buying some because so many people ask me for cigarettes. I need to start buying them and then charging people for them. And I think can make some money, a little side hustle going on there with that. But I'm sure I'll see that girl again, and it'd be nice to develop a rapport, I guess is the word I'm looking for, so that she can feel. I don't know. I want her to feel safe out in the streets because she's a young woman, she's an attractive woman, she's going to get taken advantage of, and I want her to have at least one stranger, who's just a decent human being to her and is not trying to take advantage of her or hurt her or whatever the case may be. I'm just assuming, I'm just projecting. I don't know what's going on in her life, but I want her to, if she sees me again, maybe have a positive reaction to that, and maybe feel safe. I want to be that kind of. I've always wanted to be that guy that people feel safe around. Like, I don't want to scare people or make them uncomfortable. I want them to feel safe and comfortable around me. That's always been my thing. That it really hurts my feelings when people don't feel safe or do feel uncomfortable around me, because I know the kind of guy that I am, and there's no reason for a woman to feel unsafe or uncomfortable around me. So, anyways, 10 minutes in exactly. I did pretty good. Let's get to the defense, special team stuff as quickly as I can because I do need to get back out and try to make some money this evening. My goal, since I'm working 7 days a week right now, my goal is $100 a day. I'm only at 42. I got a lot of money still to go make. Another 3 hours of work probably, unless I get some really good luck, good fortune, and some good orders. Could be two, but we'll see. I don't want to be out super late. I do need to try probably sleep tonight because I do want to get an early start tomorrow. I haven't done breakfast in a while. Even though breakfast isn't super lucrative, it's just calming. It's just nice to be out when there's no traffic. Not have to deal with a lot of the bullshit that happens on the road. Let's get to the defense. Top 10 defenses per ESPN this week. ESPN PPR rankings, by the way, I should clarify. I go by ESPN PPR rankings, not standard, not non-PPR. Or I guess PPR is standard now. But anyways, the number one defense for week 4, is the Packers defense against the Patriots. There's no Mac Jones, most likely. 99.5% sure there's going to be no Mac Jones. So it's going to be Brian Hoyer. And Hoyer may not be super talented, but he is a savvy, smart veteran. He's not going to make a lot of mistakes. So it's not like the Patriots have been lighting the world on fire anyway. They're not a very good team. I don't know how much of a change is going to really be from Brian Hoyer to Mac Jones, honestly. But Packers defense against New England, number 1. Number 2 is the Chargers defense at the Texans. We're going to talk about that later. 3, Steelers versus the Jets. 4, the Giants defense versus the Bears. 5, we got the Cowboys defense versus the Commanders. Now 6 through 10, we got the Bears defense against the Giants in New York. 7, for whatever reason I don't understand, is the 49ers defense against the defending Super Bowl champion Rams. 8, we got the Colts versus the Titans. Number 9, we got the Browns at the Falcons. And 10, we have the Cardinals at the Panthers. So, if you got one of those 10 defenses this week, chances are you probably should start them. There's not a whole lot of defenses really that I'm super excited about this week. So, the Yikes at defense, I do have just 2 for you. The Chargers defense, all the way up at number 2 against the Texans. The Chargers defense, I drafted them a lot of places. I really thought this was going to be the year they were good. Khalil Mack is there. J.C. Jackson's there. Joey Bosa's healthy. Derwin James is healthy. So far, Chargers defense is doing what it does. Chargers defense and the Commanders defense every single year are massive disappointments. Chargers are no different this year. They're 27th out of 32 so far this year. So that's not great. I do think it's a good matchup against the Texans. I am starting them because I have them. I was going to drop them in most leagues, but then I was like, they're playing the Texans this week. I'm going to hold them for one more week. So I'm going to hold the Chargers defense for one more week, but I'm not expecting much. They're a massive letdown, and I know the Texans' offense isn't super great, but Dameon Pierce is coming on. Davis Mills is actually decent. The Texans' offense isn't terrible, so I don't know if the Chargers defense is going to be good enough to capitalize on any deficiencies the Texans offense may have. But the Chargers are still top 10 defense for me. Still going to be starting them. And then my other yike is the 49ers defense against the Rams. I don't understand why. I know Stafford's been throwing some picks this year, but the Rams are still scoring a lot of points. It's still Sean McVay offense. It's still a Matthew Stafford offense. Any defense going up against the Rams offense, I'm not convinced is ever going to be a top 10 play. So, unless you get that one day where Stafford throws 3 interceptions like he did in the Super Bowl or like he did in Week 1, then maybe it's a top 10 play. But still, on paper, coming into the matchup, are you really going to be like, oh man, that defense is playing the Rams? I really think this is a good play. I can't bring myself to do it. I know the 49ers have a good defense, and I wouldn't be surprised if it ends up being a super low scoring game. But I don't particularly think there's going to be enough turnovers in that game really to keep the 49ers at 7 on the week. Now for some spikes, I've got one spike in the top 10, and then I've got 3 defenses outside the top 10 who I think are going to be legitimate streamers for you this week. So my spike is the Browns defense against the Falcons. I got the Browns in the top 5 this week. I think 9's a little low. I know that the Browns defense is fairly middle of the pack right now, and they are susceptible to quarterbacks. They are in the top 10 among defenses this year among allowing points to the quarterback position. So Marcus Mariota, as I mentioned in my waiver wire video yesterday, is a good streaming option for you this week. And I'll probably talk about him in my quarterback spikes and yikes too. We'll see. But I do think the Falcons offense, they've proven that they're pretty decent this year. They're not as bad as they look on paper. They finally got Kyle Pitts involved last week, which is good positive momentum for the Falcons offense. I don't think the Falcons offense is good enough to sit the Browns defense. If you have a Browns defense or you pick up the Browns defense, I would start them. 4. So 3 defenses outside the top 10 who I am liking this week. And that's a good screenshot right there. Hopefully that ends up as the, what's the thing called, the thumbnail on my video, because it's completely random. I don't pick the thumbnail on my video, it just randomly generates it. Hopefully this is what it picks. We'll see. Maybe I need to manually do it. So number 11, the number 11 defense, the Eagles versus Jaguars. The Eagles are a top 3 defense so far this year, as we saw from the Commanders. A lot of that had to do with them against the Commanders last weekend, but I do think the Eagles defense is legitimate. I do think the Eagles are a legitimate team, and I think the Jaguars, even though I think the Jaguars are good, a lot better than we gave any of them credit for. Doug Peterson's doing a fantastic job. I do think that the Jaguars are going to be in for some tough sledding this week against the Eagles defense. I have the Eagles in my top 10. And Vikings defense, 16 at the Saints, or technically at the Saints. It's actually in London. So this is the week where you're going to want to get up a little earlier to watch football on the West Coast. The game is going to start at 6:30. Vikings at Saints, which is tough for me as a Vikings fan. I mean, I'm going to want to watch that, but I'm not going to have anywhere to watch it because there's no bars going to be up to 6:30 in the freaking morning for football. So I'm going to miss that game. But Jameis Winston is not healthy, and he's been struggling the last couple of weeks. So there's a very good chance there could be a lot of turnovers in that game. The fact that it's going to be really it's on foreign soil, I think is going to, usually in these games, there's one team that looks really good, and then another team looks terrible. And I'm hoping, as a Vikings fan, that it's the Vikings that look good, and the Saints come in looking terrible. And so that means you're going to want to buy shares of this Vikings defense on Sunday. And then at 19, we got the Dolphins defense against the Bengals on Thursday. Hear me out. I know the Bengals looked really good last week, and the Bengals are the defending AFC champions. This is the Bengals. What we saw from the Bengals last week was what we've been expecting and hoping for from the Bengals all season. However, it's a Thursday game, short week, right? Okay, that's 1. 2, I believe Joe Mixon is hurt, right? And he may not play. So it's going to be Samaje Perine, who is good on the goal line, but not so good everywhere else. The offensive line for Cincinnati still has questions. 4, we saw what the Dolphins defense did to the Bills last week, right? And we know the Bills offense is better than the Bengals offense. So if they can shut the Bills down, what makes us think that they can't do the same to the Bengals? And also, it's a short week. Thursday games are typically pretty sloppy, and defenses typically are good starts in that game because of the short turnaround. So those are all the good reasons why I have the Dolphins a little higher than 19. I actually am probably going to start the Dolphins defense tomorrow because I don't I have the Dolphins, and I have maybe the Saints. I have some other defense that I'm not touching this week, but don't want to drop because there's nothing else on the wire that interests me. So it's in one league I will be starting the Dolphins defense tomorrow, I think. So maybe it's just wishful thinking, me hoping that they have a decent game against the Bengals. However, I'm excited for the game. Actually, I'm not typically excited for Thursday games, but I'm excited for this Dolphins game, and I'm gonna find somewhere to watch it tomorrow night. And yeah, I think the Dolphins defense is legitimately good. They got torched by Baltimore and Lamar Jackson, but somehow shut down Josh Allen. So it's still out on the Dolphins. They're outside the top 20 on the season so far because of the Baltimore game. But I just think that they got a lot of momentum coming off that Bills game. It hasn't even been a full week, so I'm just a hunch, just a feeling that the Dolphins defense is going to be maybe not starter-worthy defense in a 12-team league, but definitely in my top 15, higher than 19, so that technically makes them a spike. All right, I'm gonna end this. Peace, love, and nacho fries. Good luck. Any fantasy questions, please ask me. I'll get to quarterbacks and tight ends probably tomorrow. Peace out.